Hello, I am Xarkun. This is World of Warships Legends. Today I bring you a video featuring one of my very favorite battleships in the game, the Tier 6 British Premium HMS Nelson. And as you can see by looking at the team roster here, Nelson today is being driven for us by the Monk 52, a great player who I have featured before on this channel in another community replay. You can find the link to Monk's channel in the description below. Now, before this battle gets started, I'll point something out to you. Right off the bat, it's obvious that Monk is not using a level 16 Brawler commander, or tank commander, not tank commander, you know, the Brawler commanders that give you the tankier builds with the extra heals. So he's not using Madden or Azerlane Nelson. I suspect he is using Cunningham, and he is going to show us here just how much damage the Nelson can do with a Cunningham build, and also how much damage I guess it can take with even two of its insane zombie ship printing heals. Now the first salvo Monk just launched there at the Gneisenau did start a fire, and that ship is burning nicely. He is under what appears to be a concentrated HE spam from Monk's division mates there. And now the second salvo is out at the Gneisenau. This one hits and temporarily disables one of the Gneisenau's torpedo tubes, and that is one of the great things about the Nelson's HE. So you know, HE shells, when they hit a target, they explode on contact, and when they explode, there is a cube-shaped area of effect around each shell, where the shrapnel from the shell goes out and can cause damage on modules. Modules being things like torpedo tubes, guns, etc. So I find that the Nelson's HE is particularly good at disabling the torpedo tubes on the German battleships that have torpedo tubes. So your Gneisenaus, your Scharnhorst Bs, Tirpitzes, etc. Scharnhorst B here sailing full broadside. Another HE salvo is out in his direction. See what this one here does. Also starts a fire. The Nelson has a 46% chance to start fire on target with its high explosive shells. And I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that is the best in the game. And of course, this is a ship that really gives you two options that are, in some cases, equally viable. Those two options are the shell types, of course. The Nelson has fantastic high explosive shells. I think they may be the best high explosive shells on any battleship in the game so far. And it has 16-inch British short-fused AP shells, which can do wicked amounts of damage on broadside battleships and absolutely delete broadside cruisers. But the HE, even against broadside battleships, as you just saw there, can do insane amounts of damage. 10k on that salvo, which also took out a torpedo tube, and started two fires. So that damage is going to continue to go up. That salvo was worth much more than the initial blow of 10k. And those right there are primarily the reasons that make the Nelson one of my favorite battleships in the game. There simply is no other battleship in the game that can do what this ship can do. Now, Monk there just took a wicked hit from the Gneisenau. One of the downsides, and you might say it's a major downside of the Nelson, is that 25-26 millimeter bow. It can be overmatched by the 15-inch guns you find on the Gneisenau, or the 16-inch guns found on other Nelsons. There is a torpedo tube on the Scharnhorst permanently taken out, by the way, And that is why I say the Nelson is so effective at countering these German torpedo boat battleships. If it can disable their torpedo tubes permanently for the rest of the game, that completely changes the way that they have to calculate making a move on their targets. Anyway, Monk does deploy a heel here, and since he took that shot from the Gneisenau, which I think was a Citadel shot, through the bow, it doesn't restore as many hit points as it would if the damage was all done by something like fire. Scharnhorst goes down, speaking of fire, and Monk gets his first kill and the Arsonist medal. Anyway, had the damage Monk suffered been caused by fire, that heal would have restored him, and only by fire, that heal would have restored him to basically full health there. Since it was caused by a Citadel hit, I think he only gets to heal about, I'm not sure what the percentage is. Is it like as low as 10% or is it like 50%? I think it's 50% for armor penetrating hits and something like 10% for Citadel hits. Something pretty low. So you do have to be careful in the Nelson. You can angle its thinly armored bow against 15 and 16-inch guns, and you can cause ricochets when those shells hit your angled armor. And, you just got to be careful. If you are careful, there's pretty much nothing that can take you down. And I will say, Monk, just as a little bit of advice, maybe consider using a brawler commander. I personally like Azerlane Nelson the best for this particular ship, but the extra heals are quite nice. Anyway, Monk's division mates are now dead. His team has secured only one cap to the enemy's 2. They are even on ships and almost even on points, but another ship is going to have to go down here very quickly on the enemy team in order for them to get another lead. And then somebody should probably get on a cap circle. Looks like one friendly ship is, so he's stopping the enemy from accruing points there. But Monk has a Gneisenau charging at him, so he is continuing to fire HE. He is being shot from somewhere off to his starboard side by another ship, and I think we're about to see that ship. Yep, it is a Congo. What's a Congo doing in a Tier 6 battle? Well, you know what he did. He divisioned with a Tier 5 ship. Found himself in a Tier 6 battle. You guys really should quit doing this. If you're going to go into a division, don't division with a ship that is a higher tier than you are. You're going to see just what the Nelson's short-fused British AP can do against a Tier 4 battleship soon here. But for now, gotta take care of this Gneisenau, who is on fire. Monk continues to hit him and get these green defender ribbons, since the Gneisenau is in the only cap Monk's team controls. He is stopping them from getting points from that cap, unfortunately, and Monk is presenting an angle there to the Gneisenau, as you saw. But he was taking quite a bit of chip damage from that Congo, so he is turning and angling the other way, presenting his bow toward the Congo, which should be fine since the Congo does not have 15-inch guns. At least I don't think it does, so it can't overmatch the Nelson's bow armor. And there you go. I think most of those shells do no damage, although that shot looked like it was a little bit higher. Monk is turning again, but it looks like the Gneisenau is also turning, and maybe Monk is oversteering here just a little bit because he's now facing the Gneisenau bow on. If the Gneisenau shoots, yep, it's going to do a lot of damage, and Monk has no heals left. looks like the Gneisenau is not going to survive much longer and probably won't be able to get off another salvo. Nope. He goes down, second kill of the game, second arsonist medal of the game, 141,000 damage done. Now, Monk only has 5,200 hit points left, and he's got a full health Congo in front of him, which isn't the scariest thing in the world. Like I said, the Congo's shells shouldn't probably be able to overmatch the Nelson's bow armor, but it looks like they are coming in at maybe a little bit of a vertical angle and causing a little bit of penetration damage, maybe through the bow. Not sure. Either way, it has reduced Monk to 1,200 hit points, and I guess we're going to see how long he can survive against this Congo, if he can take him down, and if he can make it to the end of this battle. I'll ask you, do you think Monk can manage to put out another 50,000 points worth of damage and hit the 200k mark with only 1,200 health left? Well, you're about to find out. Still firing HE at this Congo, but I'd say, considering this is a relatively lightly armored Tier 4 battleship, it might not be a bad idea to consider switching to the AP. I think that might result in the Congo going down much faster. And it seems like the Congo is content to just continue sailing broadside. Maybe he figures, oh, this guy's shooting HE at me. It's not gonna do a whole lot, but I think it's done over 10k right now to that Congo before he finally extinguished it. Monk does switch to the AP. That salvo looks nice, and it hits and scores a Citadel, which is not something you see very often against Tier 5 or Tier 6, or especially Tier 7 battleships when you are sailing the Nelson. But against a Tier 4 battleship, yeah, that was, as the Mighty Jingles says, a paddling. And there's another paddling incoming. Again, very nice dispersion. It's not enough to take the Congo down completely, but he's not going to be around for much longer. The sad part is, Monk is the only member on his team left, and there are still 3 enemies, including the Congo, alive, and he's got 206 health. So he couldn't possibly make it all the way to the end of the battle and win by killing all 3 enemy ships, could he? Well, he's done 199,000 damage, so he's been having a pretty good game. I really think, Monk, you might consider trying to get an extra heal there. I think the result of this match would have been different if you had. I'm pretty confident you could have won this one, but 206 health, about a quarter health enemy Nelson out there who missed his shot, buying Monk an extra 30 seconds here. He's not going to be so lucky the second time, but still, it was a great game. 205,000 damage done, and this salvo is going to end things here. So if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, and go check out Monk's channel using the link in the description. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.